Mine is mostly written, I'm afraid, because otherwise I knew I'd dry up. And I wanted to flash the cover, but unfortunately I lost this book just before I finished reading it and had to finish it online. Anyway, so it's Canción de Tumba, or Tomb Song it would be, is by Mexican poet, novelist, and performance artist Julián Herber. It was published in 2011 and quickly won 2 international Hispanic prizes, but they were novel prizes. And that's quite interesting because the narrator is also called Julián Herber, and it's full of real people, and it's about his life. Some of the best and really exotic bits are his childhood, going around small towns and slums in Mexico, following his mother, who's a prostitute, who's a fantastic character. And his mother's now dying of leukemia, and that's the anchor, because he's in the hospital writing it as her illness develops. And it's really about family, which is a very chaotic institution in Mexico. And he says one of the bloodiest drug cartels called La Familia. It's about his own drug addiction, the Mexican left, conceptual art, sex. There's some very funny fictional bits, but you never quite know, the experience of writing. But it's fundamentally about love. And everything else is like that. It's conveyed in this very oblique, strange, personal way. And I think it's very translatable, not just because the author can be catchily known as Julian Herbert. The voice is deadpan, very English. The English kept coming to me as I read. There are almost no tricky cultural particular bits. It's consistently funny, sexually graphic in a kind of surreal way, quite bitter, very candid, very moving, utterly moving at times. And it's a performance in a sense as he's writing it in parallel to what he's living. And he said this thing in an interview that in order to tie it all up, he needed his mother to die. I mean, this was later. But he wanted to finish his novel, but didn't want his mother to die. But she did die, and he did finish. And after you read this, the relationship between fiction and autobiography will never be the same again. Oh, thank you.
I think a lot of people must have spent the last few days with a stopwatch. That was bang on 2 minutes. Right, Adam, can we go back to you for the first comment?
Sure. I thought that was terrific. It was really excellent. I mean, you gave us information about the author and your passion for them, also about the book's success in Mexico. And the only real question I would have, I mentioned earlier that we look at, and I think a lot of publishers look at how things have done more widely, is whether anyone else is it being translated into any other languages. And the reason I should just explain why I look at that, because I don't want to speak for the other publishers. Partly it's because I'm aware from my 15 years in publishing of how much more attuned European publishers are to other countries and other languages, and so that they often pick up on things much more quickly. So it's a pretty good bet that if a book is going to translate from a language, that it will have been picked up by another European country. So that's all I would have.